All of creation is conspiring to shower us with blessings. Life is crazily in love with us, brazenly and innocently in love with us. The universe always gives us exactly what we need, exactly when we need it. That sounds like Ernest Holmes. We always know what we need to know when we need to know it. Yeah, but that's Karen Taylor doing Ernest Holmes.
Don't dance, Michael.
Okay. Isn't that a great way to describe paranoia? Pronoia. And the idea that the divine order is always taking place? Just think about this for a moment. Thousands of things go right for you every day, beginning the moment that you wake up. As Hugh says, "How are you today?" Hugh goes, "Great, I woke up." Every day, beginning the moment you wake up, thousands of things happen for you that you don't have anything, absolutely nothing to do with. Through some magic you don't fully understand, you're still breathing, and your heart is still beating, even though you've been unconscious for hours. You think about this? You open your eyes, and the light of many colors floods into your eyes, registered by nerves that have taken millions of years to perfect. Just ask Reverend Franklin. He knows about this stuff. The incredible gift of these vivid hues is made possible by an unimaginably immense globe of fire. We call it the sun, which continually detonates nuclear reactions in order to convert its own body into light and heat and energy for your personal use. You can't live without the sun's inexhaustible flood of unconditional love. Every move you make depends on it. Luckily, it never fails you. Did you know that your personal star is located at the precise distance from you to be of consummate service to you? If it were any closer, you would fry, and if it was any farther away, you would freeze. Is that a happy accident? Or is it a sign of favor from a divine intelligence that adores you? If God had a refrigerator, your picture would be up on it. Are y'all feeling good now? Yeah. You feeling that? God has our back. God has your back. God has all of our backs. In the Science of Mind textbook, Ernest Holmes writes, "When we learn to trust the universe, we shall be happy, prosperous, and well. We must learn to come under that divine government and accept the fact that nature's table is ever filled. Never was there a cosmic famine. The infinite alone has wrought and suffered. The infinite lies stretched in smiling repose," to quote Ralph Waldo Emerson. God is always God. No matter what our emotional storm or what our objective situation may be, there is always a something hidden in the inner being that never has been violated. We may stumble, but there is always that eternal voice forever whispering within our ear, that thing which causes the eternal quest, that thing which forever sings and sings. This is the thing itself. And I'll add, and pronoia is how it works, does what it does, and we can use it. That is infinite possibility. It's divine intelligence. It knows way more than we know. It knows way more than we know. It is, after all, infinite intelligence, and it's always working for our good. I truly believe that, even when I can't see it at work. And that's confirmed in this Note from the Universe by Mike Dooley. I love Notes from the Universe. I love it when the universe talks back to me, you know? Especially after I yell at it, you know. And the Note from the Universe says, what if every unexpected delay, postponement, or redirect only meant that at the very last second, right before the scheduled manifestation, I had an even better idea? It happens. Signed, the universe. Right at that moment of manifestation, right before it's supposed to show up, the universe has an even better idea. And you have to wait a little longer for them to work it out. The universe is conspiring for our good. I'll tell you a little story of my life. I've had several instances in my life where the universe has conspired for my good without my consent. You know, if the universe would have asked me, I could have really screwed things up really bad, you know, but the universe didn't ask. You know that Diane and I have been married for 23 years, and do you know that we had a date 10 years before we had our second date? Now, our second date led to some fun times. But our first date was kind of a stuffy little lunch date. You know, we lived in Boulder, Colorado, and I knew who she was because I remember seeing her across a rehearsal hall at the group Fire Falls rehearsal, and asked somebody who she was. And she says, "Oh, that's David, the keyboard player's girlfriend. And she just moved to town." And last I saw of her until I got sober and went to one of her shows with her group called The Girls, and met her and said, "Hey, you want to have a lunch date and talk about band booking?" That was a line that I used, you know, and it worked. So we had a lunch date and finished the date. And I remember at the last saying goodbye to her and kind of noticing her neck. I'm a neck man. And I always kind of remembered that. And then 10 years later, she shows up at one of my shows because a mutual friend was playing with me from Boulder, Colorado. And we met in Nashville. And she had this blonde hair that was down to here. And it was like, I mean, I couldn't hardly see her face because she had so much hair. And I said, "Hi, how are you doing?" You know. And so the next night we went down. I knew that she was going to the Bluebird Cafe, so I made a point to go down there myself. And she had her hair all pulled back. And I remember looking down at her and going, "Ooh, there's that neck. I remembered that neck." And I remember getting up in the Bluebird and walking around going, you know, God, you know, I don't want to outline this, you know, because I was coming to that point where I didn't want to outline, you know. I didn't want to go to my old predator tactics, you know. I guess I'm letting a lot out today, you know. It was Diane's turn last week, you know. But anyway, I said, God, you know, I'm not saying that it has to be her, but I want one just like her. Can you do that, you know? And needless to say, through a few contacts and talking on the phone and stuff, she came to town permanently, and the rest is history. But, you know, I look back at that and I go, how did that happen? You know? But the universe is always conspiring for our good, whether we consent to it or not, you know. So anyway, that was a long story, and sorry I got caught up in it, but yeah, all right, well, anyway, And we went on, and here's another little thing. Postponing our good. For 2 or 3 years before she got here, even when she came, I was trying to get a record deal. And I'd get close, but no cigar, you know. And then after we got married, we got a record deal together. So the universe, he says, wait a minute, I got a better idea for you. Why don't you wait a little bit here and you can do it together. So, all right, I'm done. Thank you, dear, for that story. Yeah, I love you. In Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes says we must instill into our minds the fundamental proposition that good is without bounds. David mentioned that today. Good is without bounds. Only good and loving kindness shall follow me all the days of my life, from Psalms. The universe is conspiring for my good always and in all ways.